Is Vipassana meditation worth it? Let's find out together. This February, my friend Anna and I went to Vipassana meditation in the California Vipassana Center. That center is considered a luxury center and is one of the best centers in the US and probably the world. Anna did Vipassana before in Burma, and it was my first time doing Vipassana. Let's find out how it went. First, about Vipassana itself. Vipassana is a type of ancient meditation actually introduced by the Buddha. And that's one of the reasons he became so famous, because the idea of this meditation was that it helps people alleviate suffering and ultimately will help people reach enlightenment. I'm definitely not there, so I have no idea whether it's true or not. To actually learn this technique, you have to spend 10 days in silence in a special meditation center. Those centers are all around the world, ranging from very simple ones with bunk beds, no heating or electricity, to fancy ones to which we went. We had electricity and we had really nice accommodations. The schedule and what you actually have to do when you spend 10 days at the center. The schedule is pretty strict, and again, the strictness ranges from center to center. But your day starts at 4 a.m. That's when you're supposed to wake up and start meditating. Before 4 a.m., you can take a shower if you'd like, even though I've never done that, that's way too early. And then at 6 is your breakfast. And you don't want to miss breakfast. It's a very important part of the day towards which you're looking forward, just because you get proper food only 2 times a day. First time at 6 a.m. and second time at 11 a.m. for lunch. As a new student, I was also lucky to get some tea at 5 p.m. And by tea, I mean you can make yourself a drink, whether it's tea or water or like protein shake. I think they had some protein powder and a fruit. All students, like my friend Tana, they didn't get the tea option, so they only had food twice a day. In the morning after breakfast, you have a chance to walk around, have a break, I think, of about an hour. And California Vipassana Meditation Center had amazing walking paths. Women and men are completely separate, so I haven't seen the walking paths on the men's side, but the ones on the woman's side are just amazing. We had a lake and we had 2 walking paths, and yes, you walk in circles, but you walk in the forest. Right next to Yosemite National Park, actually, which is spectacular, so you can only imagine how amazing the nature is. In the mornings, I like to go there and just walk before our first group sitting at 8 a.m. All students are supposed to meet in the hall, and if you don't do this, I think they kick you out. First one is at 8 a.m. and it lasts until 9 a.m. So that's the first group sitting where men and women come together in the hall, and it's a teacher-led meditation practice. Then the second one, where you have to be in the hall, I think, is from 2 p.m. till 3 p.m. So that's the second group sitting of the day. And then there is the third group sitting as well. It's a little bit different. It lasts from 6 till 9 p.m. approximately. From 6 till 7 is a group sitting similar to the first group sittings. And then afterwards, there is a discourse where Gyonka actually talks about the technique and your experience during the day as a meditator. It's really nice. It's a video recording, so basically you get some entertainment. Afterwards, it's another group sitting, I think lasting about 45 minutes. For those sittings, you're supposed to be in the hall, and then around those sittings is your free meditation time. You're also supposed to be meditating in your room, in the hall, or they give you a cell. It's called a pagoda, but it's pretty much a huge building looking like a monastery. And you get your own super dark room. It's quiet where you can meditate. And one very important thing to mention is you're supposed to give up all the technology. During those 10 days, you have no phones, you can't read, you can't write, you can't play games, you can't do anything. So you have to give away all the technology, all the reading, and all the consumption of information. When in your life do you have a chance to be silent and not to consume any information whatsoever? We are bombarded with marketing, advertisements, all that stuff in our lives. So this is such an amazing opportunity to kind of live like an ancient human being, not having all this technology around. Honestly, it's such a blessed experience, really, really amazing. Let's talk about the benefits. The benefits kind of start to emerge slowly, first at the center for the first 10 days, and then you start observing those benefits in the real life, in the material world. first benefits that you observe. Start to see nature differently. On the third day, I started walking and I just see such depths to the colors. I start to see the details that I've never seen before. Like my brain changes and I'm coming back to the childhood where I could just sit in the creek with a stick and just create boats from leaves. It was like so entertaining and engaging. And what I realized that it's not that we grew up and that's not interesting anymore. It's just we are so overwhelmed with all the information that we are fed constantly, our jobs, social media, conversations, TV, so on. So many things are going on. Our mind just doesn't have a capacity to observe the depths of nature. And as children, we're just not as overloaded. That's why there is a spare capacity. And we're able to see things as they are. And they're so beautiful. Oh my God. I walk and I see ants crawling on the tree. The bark is actually not just gray in color, it's red, it's brown, and so many colors. The sounds and the smells, you just perceive things differently, and I just can't describe the beauty of everything around. It started for every single student. And it was so cool to see how, first people are still like so much in the internal worlds, thinking about their worries and their stress. And then after 5 days, I see the same woman just looking at the lake, looking at the birds, being fascinated by frogs. It just was really heartwarming to see those moments for everyone. The second thing that started to happen for me, and I think that started to happen thanks to the meditation, your old memories start to emerge. And for me, it was both the childhood memories that I never really remembered, or maybe thought I didn't remember, and also the old traumas. And those things didn't come to me during meditation, because during meditation, you're supposed to turn off your mind from everything completely. But they started to come during those break periods when I walked, or when I sat down, when I washed my clothes, or right before sleep. I started to remember things from childhood, and I was like on the playground and someone upset me, and I really remembered the conversation I had with my mother back then. She had with me about how it's okay to be upset and children play differently. And I was like, oh my God, this is pretty crazy, because I don't think I'm supposed to remember that. And then some of the traumas that I had like later in life, more into adulthood, started to emerge as well. And I realized I had a lot of blocked memories which started to come out thanks to the meditation. And it wasn't a really pleasant experience, but at the same time, I was thankful to remember things my brain blocked. If I remember those things, I can process them and kind of work on them. The third most important thing happened after actually the retreat. I came back and the world really shocked me. I still could observe the beauty in everything, but at the same time, the rumbling and loud noises in the city made me really feel uncomfortable, and I couldn't handle them very well for the first couple of days. Before going on retreat, I actually wrote some things I wanted to achieve this year, and some of them were like having a minimalistic apartment style, not having a lot of like objects I don't use, moving to New York or Boston because we were in California at the time and wanted to try living on the East Coast. I remember having a conversation with my husband straight after Vipassana, and I remember us walking, and I was saying, well, if it's meant for us to move, we will move. If it's not meant, we won't move. Next morning at 6 a.m., he gets a job interview for a job in New York. And he says it's his dream job, and he always dreamt about this position, and he can't imagine a better role for him. And in 2 weeks, he gets the role. 2 weeks after, we moved to New York. We're here now. And obviously, we had to sell all of our stuff. So I got a completely minimalistic, clean apartment with no stuff lying around. A lot of teachers were saying, because of meditation, you kind of reach a different vibration frequency, or whatever it is. And then things around you start to change. I'm not saying it happened because of Vipassana, but it's definitely an amazing coincidence how soon it happened after I came from the retreat. I definitely gonna go for another retreat. I think for me personally, it's completely worth the experience. And honestly, I really enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed being silent. I enjoyed observing nature. And waking up at 4 a.m. and having food twice a day were also amazing experiences because you get to live in a different tempo. than you live right now. You get to slow down. You get to experience day as a whole from dusk till dawn. Seeing amazing sunrises and sunsets all on the same day, such a gift. And one other thing I forgot to mention is your taste buds. You perceive food differently. You really, really enjoy those 2 meals you have, and you really value them because you slow down when you have your food. I highly recommend this experience for everyone. Before the retreat, I was pretty worried because I never done anything like this before, and I was looking for any literature on how Vipassana went for other people, and I didn't really find anything that provided me with enough information. I really hope this video helps you make the decision to go to Vipassana meditation retreat, and just at the very least, you will have an experience not many people had in their life, and that experience will be unique and you will be able to share it with other people. Thank you for watching.